Well, alright, it is time for the Chuckwagon Cowboy Show, and boy do we have a treat for you this week. We are going to be sharing our show with the superstars of today's show, Black Eyed Peas, so let's get going right now. We are finishing up the last week of 2011 and going into 2012 with our special New Year's episode of the Chuckwagon Cowboy Show. I'm Ron Locke, and today we really wanted to have the Black Eyed Peas on as special guests today, and we really kind of do. We have the Black Eyed Peas, but it's not the singing group, the Black Eyed Peas, that we're going to be sponsoring and having today, and we'll get in that in just a bit. What we're going to be doing for you is a Southern tradition that is done all the time on New Year's Day for people that really have this luck thing. And what we're going to do for you is a black eyed pea soup. Okay, now black eyed pea soup on New Year's is, again, like I said, a Southern tradition that's supposed to bring you wealth and prosperity. Well, the reason is because the black eyed peas sponsor wealth because they kind of look like coins, and the prosperity is because they swell up when you cook them, and that's kind of the whole Southern tradition of the black eyed pea thing and bringing good luck. Now there's also there's a lot of different little traditions that go along with the soup as well. Well, there's Hoppin' John, which is kind of like my recipe but not, and then there's your regular black eyed pea soup, and you add all kinds of things to it depending on what you want. Stewed tomatoes are supposed to bring wealth. If you have it with collard greens and cornbread, the collard greens are supposed to represent money and the cornbread is supposed to represent coins. People will go ahead and actually throw a shiny penny or dime, hopefully clean, into the black eyed pea soup as it's cooking, and then whoever gets that dime or penny or coin ends up having the good luck for the year. Or you can also put it under your guest a coin under your guest bowls as well when you're having the soup. There's all kinds of different things. For me, what I like to do is I just do the coin under the bowl, because I'm just kind of funny about putting metal into a pot when it's cooking and such. But anyways, that's some of the traditions and some of the history of having black eyed peas on New Year's, and I do it every year. I make my famous Getting Lucky black eyed pea soup. Now we're going to go ahead and start off and show you the ingredients right now, okay? Alright, first of all we have two 15.5 ounce cans of black eyed peas, and that's undrained. You want to have as much liquid as you want in this soup as well, so everything that you have in cans is going to be undrained, alright? We have here 2 cups of cubed ham, chopped ham. We can do diced ham. Just make sure it's cut up. A lot of times people go ahead, if they've had ham on Christmas, and they will go ahead and save the ham hock and stuff and put that in as well. It just depends. We didn't have ham this year, so I had to go ahead and get some ham and cube it up myself. Alright, so we got that, 2 cups. We've got here, this is one can of stewed tomatoes, okay, and that is 14.5 ounces of stewed tomatoes. Now we've got another can of stewed tomatoes as well, 14.5 ounces, and what we go ahead and do here is you puree it. You puree it, and you can do that in a blender, you can do that in a food processor, which I did, or if you really want to go ahead and be archaic about it, you can go ahead and just use a fork or use a whisk and go ahead and try to do it that way. Your best way to do it, though, is do it in a blender or a food processor. Most people have one of those. Alright, so we got that. We got here 1 can of a chicken broth here. Okay, 1 can of chicken broth. We've got 1 medium onion that is chopped. We've got here 3 tablespoons, I take that back, 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. And last but not least, we kind of mixed everything up in this little bowl. It's all our dry seasonings. We've got here 1 tablespoon of cumin. We've got 1/2 tablespoon of salt and 1/2 tablespoon of pepper. And last but not least, we got a little bay leaf here that we are going to add in as well. Alright, so these are the ingredients that's going to go into our fantastic Getting Lucky New Year's Day soup. Alright, black eyed pea soup. So, alright, well, let's go ahead then and get started on the stove and make this fantastic soup. Hey y'all, alright, we are on the stovetop here, and we're going to go ahead and start our Getting Lucky black-eyed pea soup here, okay? And first thing you want to do is get yourself an 8-quart pot here, like I have here. We're going to be making a lot of soup. Now, obviously we're doing this show a little before New Year's, and this will allow me to have some good soup tonight, and then also freeze the rest of this, and then that way we get our Getting Lucky soup on New Year's as well. So kind of get a double shot there, all right? All right, so you get your 8-quart pot here, and the first thing you want to do, go ahead and take your 2 cans of undrained black-eyed peas here, and just go ahead and pour those in your pot, like so, okay? All right. And what you're going to want to do then is go ahead, and what I do, you want to fill this pot halfway with water, all right? Now, these, I like using the canned black-eyed peas because they're already cooked down. I've also used the regular black-eyed peas, and I usually use about a pound and a half of the dried black-eyed peas, and then I cook them that way. But to save time, and it's a lot easier if you just use the canned ones, you really don't notice the difference in the end. You want to go ahead and fill this pot halfway with water. All right, that's what's going to make our soup. All right, so you can either go ahead and take this over to the sink and fill it up that way, or for camera purposes, what I always do, I always keep a spare gallon milk carton or two for large soups and things like this that I'm making to go ahead and fill this way. So for the camera, that's what I'm going to do. And so we're just going to go ahead and fill this about halfway, okay, which probably will get me to where I need to be with this here. Yeah, oh, it's spurting around a little bit there. All right, there we go. That's about halfway right there. Now, what you're going to see here is the peas are going to go ahead and kind of get a little bubbly looking. I remember the first time I did this, I thought, did I clean this out enough with soap? It's not soap. The peas actually generate this kind of soapy looking kind of residue when you mix it in with water and everything. So, but that's what you're going to get here. All right, so first thing you do is that. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and take the rest of our ingredients. I'm going to stir this up just a little bit, just to get get everything kind of mixed in here. Real simple. Okay. Now, what we're going to do then is take the rest of our ingredients and put this in here like so. So go ahead. There's no order to this. We got our garlic here. Okay. And we've got the onions, because this is all going to boil down, and then we're going to simmer it out for a while. Okay, so there's your onions. Good stuff. All right, let's see here. We've got our dry ingredients here: salt, pepper, cumin, and our bay leaf. Slide that all in there. Okay, let's set that down. All right, we have our ham. There are 2 cups of ham we're going to go ahead and put in here. Like that. I had to use this because I ran out of glass bowls. So, but it works good, Got to improvise, good cooks improvise. All right. Then I'm gonna set this down for a second. Then we got our one can of chicken broth here. Just throw that in like that. All right. So, and then last but not least, we've got our 2 cans of tomatoes. Now, remember I told you, make sure you puree this first can in a blender or food processor. We're gonna mix that in there. Okay. It just smells good, just even before all the flavors get mixed in here and cooked down. Last but not least, we've got our 1 can of just regular stewed tomatoes. Now, both of these were undrained, by the way. I mentioned that earlier, but just to remind y'all. All right, there you go. Now, if you're good, you want to have this at about 3/4 of the way full. And if you look, we are at about 3/4 of the way full here. I don't even think, I might add a little bit of water here, but pretty much we're at the 3/4 mark here. There. And all you're going to do then, you want to go ahead and put this on boil. What you're going to want to do is bring this to a boil, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and set my oven on high here, and just go ahead and start stirring this up a little bit to get it mixed up, like so. And then we're just going to go ahead and let this boil for a bit. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a moment. Well, alright, you can see now that we have our Getting Lucky black-eyed pea soup at a raging boil here. And that's what you want. It'll take probably about, with this size of a pot, probably about, I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes to get it to that raging boil. Okay? So what we're going to do now, and my cameraman pointed out to me in the earlier segment, he said that I had turned my oven up to high. I actually turned the burner up to high. He had to point that out to me. It was kind of funny actually. But anyway, so, alright, taking our burner, what we're going to want to do now is we're going to move that down to simmer. You want to go ahead and simmer this down. First stir it up a little bit like we're going to do here. And I've turned that down, like I said, down to a simmer, which is probably about a 1.5 if you've got a numbered type of burner system on your stove. Okay? And we're going to simmer this for about 45 minutes. Okay? What that's going to do, that's going to really make all these seasonings and flavors work real well. Get your pot here. I go ahead and just kind of cock it a little bit so the steam comes out a little bit. If you've got one that's got a steam release, that's fine. Just make sure your steam release is open. And just check on it. You want to go ahead and stir this probably about every 10-15 minutes. So maybe about every 15 minutes or 3 times probably through the whole process. Just give it a good stir, get those flavors going and such. And at the end of your 45 minutes, you're going to have some fantastic yeehaw type of Getting Lucky black-eyed pea soup. Now when we're done here, we're going to come back and we're going to do our famous 5 horseshoe yeehaw test that we always do. And we're going to be back there in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and check on some friends that I got here watching the show. And I'll be back in just a bit, alright? Stay tuned. Well, hey y'all, here we are. We have got our Getting Lucky black-eyed pea soup boiling up here. You can see it, not boiling up, but it's steaming up nicely. It is done. We are at the 45-minute point, and now we're going to shuffle on over to our presentation bowl here. And this is where we're going to go ahead and do our usual 5 horseshoe yeehaw test that we always do. Alright, now you see here I've got a coin. This is one of my traditions here. When I have company over for New Year's Day, we do always, usually. And go ahead and get a coin. I have my gold coin here that I have. And I'm going to go ahead. It's one of the new dollar coins that are out. So I don't know if y'all have seen this, but it's like they have the gold ones out. There's the 2 or 3 different ones. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and put this underneath the bowl for good luck. I do that every year. Okay, I'm not a big advocate of putting change into the coins into the soup itself. You know, heaven forbid somebody take that coin and choke on it. That'd be my luck, you know, not in a good way. All right, so you can see we've gone ahead here and we've put a little bit of parsley on top here to make a nice presentation. This soup's looking great. It's a little hot, so I hope I don't burn myself when I take a test of this one, but we want to go ahead and get a shot. I'm going to go ahead and get a spoonful here. Now, you can see here the ham and the beans, and I see a little onion in there. We got a little bit of parsley in there. I think we got, there's a little bit of tomato. We got everything in this little spoonful here. I'm going to blow on this a little bit, like I said, because it's hot and I don't think I want to have an accident here. So hold on a sec. If I make a mess, it's not my fault. See, I did. My cameraman willed that. He laughed at me. All right. Oh man, that gets a New Year's lucky yeehaw! I'm telling you, you can really taste. You can taste all the goodness in this. You can taste the black-eyed peas, of course, the onion, the garlic. I can taste the tomato. You can taste the pepper, definitely the cumin. It's fantastic. This is perfect. Now, what I usually do when I serve the soups is I will go ahead and I will put pepper and salt on the table, because some people like it a little more jacked up than others. I kind of make it as sort of a medium spiciness, but I would say for the average person this is quite spicy enough. But so I've known some people to go ahead and put more pepper into their soup and jack it up a bit. It's fantastic. So what we're going to have too, serving with this, is we're going to have some collard greens for good luck, for the money. I'm doing some cornbread up. Actually, I'm doing some honey cornbread up, and that's for the gold. We got the gold coin underneath. I think I'm set for good luck for 2012. What about y'all? All right? All right. So if you believe in all the good luck and all the good stuff, give us a try. Even if you don't believe in the good luck, it's a good soup, and it's great on a cold day. And what the heck, you know, give it a shot on New Year's. Start a new tradition. You never know, it could actually bring you a great 2012. And closing with that, I want to just tell everybody, thank you so much for a great 2011. It's my first year, my freshman year here as being the Chuckwagon Cowboy, filming these shows. We're getting close to the end of season 1. We've got a couple more shows, and then we're going to shoot you off a blooper reel to close out our season 1. And then we're going to start our season 2. We've got a lot of great surprises for you. The cookbook's coming out here in probably around February. The 2012 is going to be a great year. It's just going to get better and better. I want to thank all my friends, all my supporters, all my subscribers. Have a great new year, all right? And from the Chuckwagon Cowboy Show, this is Ron Locke saying good eating and happy trails.